You're now tuning in to the Ambitious Views podcast, where we share unique perspectives on storytelling within film and television from the past, present, and future. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So let's get to it. Welcome back to another episode of the Ambitious Views podcast. We are your hosts, Corrigan, and my sister,
Blaze.
Woo. How you doing, Blaze?
I am good. Had a long day, but a good day. So I'm
It's
good. How are you?
doing pretty good, doing pretty good. It was kind of the same thing, it's kind of, both of us working higher ed, and it's kind of that unique time where in moments it can be slow, but then at the same time, out of nowhere, it can be like, do, 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 just a lot of
Yeah.
things going on. So, but today was pretty cruising, just because I had like a few meetings today and an impromptu meeting. I think I had like 3 meetings today. So, but overall, doing pretty good. As I mentioned to you offline, and for our listeners that's been following the chat, following our platform for a little while now. My wife Audrey, she just started Blood and Water, so
Hey,
we're really
blood.
Blood and
What
Water.
up?
So we excited about that. So I'm ready to see how things got to play out as far as like her experience or whatever. But anyway, um but Blaze, I want to go back to we mentioned a while back how you never did start the circle, and you started it and you was enjoying it. I think the last time we mentioned you was in season like maybe 2. Have you finished the whole thing now?
I haven't finished. I am on season 4, like
Okay.
episode 2 or 3 of season 4.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. I can't remember. So you on season 4, is that when the winner of, I think, season maybe 3, her husband is on it now?
If so, then they haven't came yet.
Okay, spoiler. But
Wait, no. The winner of season 3 was James, was the black guy.
okay.
You may be talking about season 2 when the girl was playing her husband.
Yes.
So he came on there playing as her or somebody else.
Just wait and see. Then wait and see. But
Okay, Trevor.
yeah, Trevor.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah,
But
so
now
make
I
sure.
really like what I
Uh-huh.
like about the circle is that, and I know it only has like 5 seasons, but the fact that I feel like people of color really have a great opportunity.
Mhm,
Especially Black people have a great opportunity of winning that game. And to
mhm.
be honest, when I first started it, I was like, this may not be a game for us. Because, the game is all about making judgments based off of what people put on their profile and, not really getting to know them in face to face and stuff. And so I was like, oh, Lord. But like to see the Black people on there thrive, I'm like, all right. All
Yeah, and I
right.
like the I just love the atmosphere of just acceptance and everything like that. The only thing here and there would get on my nerves is when some people get too obsessed with trying to figure out who's a
Who
catfish
the
and
catfish is, yeah.
instead of just
Like
playing the
somebody
game.
made a good point. And I feel like they said it probably on the second and third season, like, or maybe Shoot said it on the first season. Like, it doesn't really matter if somebody is a catfish because the words are real. And so if you build the connection with that person, that's really all that matters.
Yeah. Oh, Shooty,
Yeah.
everybody's
I'm
favorite.
on the season where the Spice Girls are on it.
Okay. They switched a lot of things up with that one. I can't exactly remember how it ended. Um, but it was pretty cool. Like I said, think I think my favorite one may have been the fifth one for various reasons, but I won't get into that
Hmm.
until you finish it or whatever.
I will say one thing I don't like about it is like whoever is the final person that's added to the group, to me, doesn't really have an opportunity to win. They're only there for like 2 ratings. And
Yeah,
so personally, if I was there from the beginning or from the middle, I ain't voting for you. You're gonna be
right.
at the bottom of my rankings.
Yeah. But it's weird though because you come in and then it's like you coming into beef. And so it's just like where people would probably think like that, like logically, like, oh no, this person doesn't deserve to win. They haven't been in, da 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 da. But then, like, you got people beefing with each other or feeling some
Yeah,
type of way or have their own kind of perception of someone and everything. So it's like you said, it's almost kind of pointless, but depending on how they play the game, it can be, pretty entertaining.
yeah.
So yeah, but that's cool. I'm looking forward to see what you think about um
Season
episode,
5.
well, season 5. So but as we get ready to go on into the show, as you all know, and for those of you who are new to us, we like to pop off our episodes with a good old this or that. Pretty much what we
You can get
do,
what this, or
and
you
you
can get what that.
hey. So pretty much how we play it is each, we swap places each episode and we come up with a this or that to basically challenge the minds and the thought process of one another to see which way we're gonna go. Okay, so this week it is Blaze time, and I'm gonna steal her phrase. I stayed ready today, so I'm not worried about what you got for me.
So now you finally starting to stay ready. What you do,
Yo,
some type of training or something?
yeah,
Let's get down to business.
that's funny.
All right, so say we're in the Game of Thrones world.
My gosh, okay, here you go.
And to stay alive, you got to side with somebody that's, not a really a good person. So
Hmm.
you can either side with Ramsay or you can side with Joffrey. Pick a side, pick a side.
Now Ramsey, he's the one that kept playing mind games with old boy, didn't he? And
Yeah.
letting him go and capturing him and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm rolling with him, man. Joffrey a punk. I want to whoop him so bad. That's easy, man. I want to whoop him so bad. I want to put him in a forever corner. You
Oh
little
wow.
like,
I mean, honestly,
oh,
to me the better answer is I guess I ain't surviving because Ramsey was an abuser of many. He even abused Sansa. Like, nah,
man.
I'm good.
Ramsey, like that whole arc that just literally came out of nowhere was so depressing.
It was, and it escalated so quickly. It was like Theon. It was like, oh, Theon found some help,
Yeah,
and this dude was playing games with him.
the
It's like
whole time.
this little psychopath. What?
Yeah. Like just imagine if he wouldn't have died and survived, what ain't no telling what he would have done. Sure, he probably would have been able to get a dragon, knowing him. Like,
No.
like he was a
Now I
menace.
feel like the Night King would have killed him
Oh, true,
because
true.
I could see Ramsey trying to connect with the Night King. Like, I don't like these people either. Like, let's team up. And the Night King's like, yeah, I don't need you.
Yeah, yeah, no, you're right, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, that was a good one, man. Like Ramsey, that whole arc, that was depressing, man. Like I felt so bad for the dude, man. Like, every time he thought he was getting away,
Yeah.
put him back, man. That's wild. Well, Blaze, as I said, I came ready and I did pretty good up front.
You did all right. You did all right. I mean, Joffrey, if we put him back on the table, yeah, he was a punk, but he was a child. And he kind of was easily manipulated. So, I mean, if you just said the right words, you probably could have swayed him. What's dude name from House of Dragon? If you was kind of like is it Laris?
Which one was he?
The one who started advising Queen Allison.
Oh, oh, if he was, man, Joffrey would be no match for him. No match because he pretty much played the king, in my opinion. So wow. Yeah, that is a good thought. I'm still gonna stick with the other dude, man, because Joffrey.
Or even
Joffrey.
like Littlefinger, like, if you could be good with your words like Littlefinger, you could have swayed Joffrey and he would have been doing whatever you tell him to do. He's
True.
still gonna be a punk and a horrible person, but at least you are protected.
This is true. This is true.
This is
Yeah.
true.
This is true. Yeah. Them advisors, man, like they gotta be careful, man. See, now you got me ready for House of the Dragon.
Yeah, and they filming season 2 right now.
Yeah. We gonna see, man. They better not pull the same stuff. Cause they hurt my feelings this last time. So
Oh, Luke, like
uh
no.
oh man, just the
And I
man.
knew what was gonna happen because I already read like the synopsis of the books and stuff, and so I was like, but it ain't gonna happen like this. And then I saw it and I was like, wow, it really happened like this. He went out like that.
That was creepy, man. Like just
All I
fuck.
gotta say though about everything I've read, it gets worse. It gets worse. The people that die, the way that they die, it gets worse.
How?
It just gets worse. That's all I gotta say.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, Blaze.
We're gonna be stressed. I already
Yeah,
know. When it drop next year, we're gonna be stressed.
you trying to stress people out, man. Oh my goodness. What's on your watch list?
So I've been watching, Circle, trying to finish that up, but also Queen Charlotte, which we'll talk about. I binged that, and then I started watching the new, I think it's a new Hulu show called Saint X, which is about it's like a mystery that's told in the present and in the past. And so
Mhm.
it's about this girl who, when she was younger, her sister was murdered when they went on vacation to this island, Saint X. And since she was so young when it happened, she
Mhm.
really didn't learn how to process it and deal with it. And there's so many unanswered questions about what happened to her sister because the people that they think did it were never prosecuted
Mhm.
because they ruled it as a suicide. But her family and all of their friends and stuff are convinced that it was these two local men who did it just because they were the last people that see her. And so the whole show is about like going back and forth to seeing like what led up to her final days. And
Mhm.
then in the present, the weird thing is, so one day she was going to meet one of her friends for lunch, and she gets in the taxi cab. And when she's about to get out the taxi cab, the taxi driver says something, and the voice is like, and so she look up and she see his name, and it's the guy who allegedly raped and murdered her sister. And so instead of, like a normal person getting out of that cab immediately and running away, she leaves her phone in the cab. And then the rest of the series is like her she starts out stalking him. And then she eventually is able to kind of form a connection with him because I guess she's trying to figure out like what type of person he is and to get him to, I guess, confess to what happened, but it gets weird. She starts to kind of unravel. Um,
A lot of
the
things.
new episode came out last night, so I got to finish that.
Yeah.
But we haven't found out like what really, really happened to her just yet. But it's a really, really good show. If you like White Lotus, then you would like this show as well. Or if you just like mysteries in general, you would like this.
Okay, cool. I don't know if I started White Lotus and then I just paused it. I be going in like sometimes I have my little moments where I'm trying to watch something. I start and I be like, I don't want to watch this or whatever. But White Lotus has been on my list for a while. I just haven't gotten into it, but apparently I guess it's pretty dang good. I guess it's just I never really understood the concept of it, and I guess that's why at the time when I did try to start it, I think, or why I haven't jumped into it because I didn't have a clear understanding of what it was about. So
Yeah. Well, White Lotus, it's essentially it's a murder mystery as well. So like like both seasons start off with somebody's dead, but we don't know who it is. And so the rest of the series or the rest of the season, you get to meet all these different people that are on vacation at the White Lotus. They're staying at their resort. And then also the people that work at that resort are a part of the story as well. And so each episode you're kind of learning a little bit more. And then by the end you find out who died. And so it's really not a who done it, it's more of a who died and why. So
Mm,
you're just like looking at their 7 days on this vacation. How did this person end up dying and figuring out who that is?
hmm. Kind of gives me the vibe of dang it just um Knives Out. It kind of reminds me how you
Yeah.
saying it reminds me of something like that. Okay. Well, that's cool. That's cool. Well, for me, I watched Tick Tick Boom, which is a film about the life of Jonathan Larson. So it's a very unique biopic because it's a musical.
Yeah.
So Andrew Garfield plays him. For
Mm-hmm.
those of you who have heard about Tick Tick Boom and didn't know what it was about or whatever, basically it's about Jonathan Larson, who is the playwright of the famous play Rent. So yeah, so
5,000, 2,500, 600 minutes.
now I'm gonna be real. I know the song, but I have never seen anything Rent.
Really?
Yeah, so after I saw this was about him, I was like, okay, I feel like, especially since this is before that happened, let me watch this first and then go into watching Rent because I feel like I appreciate it more. Blaze, have you seen Tick Tick Boom?
I haven't seen Tick Tick Boom, but I have seen Rent.
Cool, yeah. Jennifer Hudgens is in it as well. She does a really good job. It's
Jennifer Hudgens.
Did I say that right? Vanessa
Vanessa
Hudgens. My
Hudgens.
bad.
I was like, the last name
I'm
sound
thinking
right, but
about
the first
Jennifer
name,
Hudson.
I don't know who he's talking about, my guy.
Oh my gosh, I'm thinking about Jennifer Hudson, but yeah, like so Vanessa, she takes us back to the High School Musical days and doing thing in this, and she does a really good job, and so it's a really solid film.
She was
Um,
actually in the Fox had that period of time where they did live action musicals.
yeah,
And if
yeah,
I'm not mistaken, she was in the live action Rent. I think so.
okay. Hey, I remember being in something live. I just can't remember exactly what it was. That she was a part of. But yeah, I mean, she did a good job. It's a great film, man. I will say, I don't. It's not a spoiler, but um, Larson isn't alive anymore. He did die, and so I knew he had died, but just kind of seeing how things were done and from I haven't done deep research, but it seems like they tried to stick as much as possible to the truth that they knew of his life. And I will say as a creative, it was pretty much like wow, which I don't want to get too deep into it, even though it is a biopic. You can easily look it up, but I feel like it was a very good story. I see why it got nominated for so many things. I'm not sure if it did win at the time it came out. But it definitely is a pretty good film, especially if you like films that are musicals. So it is a true musical. But what I will say I like about this more than a lot of other plays that are turned into movie musicals is that there's a good balance of dialogue and then going into the musical pieces instead of just like musical this, musical that, musical this. As soon as you think somebody's going to have a regular conversation, it goes into another musical
Mm-hmm.
or another song. So yeah. So overall, definitely recommend that if you haven't seen this on Netflix. Um, Turned on Big Mama. Wow, I turned on Dear Mama the other day.
Very different. Very
Very
different.
different, very different. But I turned it on this past. When did I turn it on? This past Thursday. Yes, I turned it on this past Thursday, and as I what was it, Thursday? Yeah, I think it was Thursday. This past Thursday, I started watching it. I was like, man, okay, okay, cool. Because I will say I was kind of skeptical about it because I'm like, is there really more to tell? You know, but I
Hmm.
will say the thing that drew me in um, is seeing the trailer and the fact that they had footage of Tupac that we never seen before. So if you didn't know what Dear Mama is about, it's a mini docu-series about the life of Dear Mama, the life of Dear Mama. My gosh, it's about the life Pac and Afeni Shakur, his mother, and so it was really great. It's really is it was very eye opening to really see how connected um he was to the Black Panthers when it comes to the fact that his mom was a part of it, which I believe I already knew that, but just knowing at what moment of the Black Panthers that she was a part of the organization or whatever really just kind of made it way more interesting. So she knew a lot of the movers and shakers, you know, with the party and everything like that. And so it's just very moving. Of course, it's sad because we all know what happens. But what I really love is the footage that they was able to get. Like they literally have a lot of footage of him doing a little mini interview at 17 years old.
Wow. Wow.
17 whole conversation, and you literally get to see the evolution of how he was at 17 and all the way up until the night in Vegas and stuff like that. And so like I always like to say, you know, I feel like it's very important um is learning the why about people, even those that that we disagree with about things. And this is definitely a really great why to all of his actions, why he did what he did, but then also being honest of the fact that a lot of people who were cool and tight with him didn't agree with it, and they was like, "Why, man? Like, what's
Hmm.
going on?" You know. So, I think it's a really great doc when it comes to just addressing how oppression can lead individuals to do things that they may have normally wouldn't do, or it's just kind of they go into survival mode to where they just feel, you know, they go about things in the best way they feel like it's possible to get to where they want to go. But overall, highly recommend. If nobody's seen it, it's on Hulu. For right now, I don't know when the whole merger thing between Disney Plus and Hulu is going to happen, but for right now, it is on Hulu. Really good. I think it's maybe like 6 episodes.
Okay.
So yeah, pretty quick watch. It's not hard to watch it all, and it's pretty. It does a good job of continuing um, being continuous when it comes to staying, keeping the energy up and everything like that. And I
Hmm.
will say another thing that's interesting, the filmmaker of it, he actually was, he and his brother, the name is jumping away from me right now, Alan Hughes.
Hmm.
Um, he and his brother, I think they addressed themselves as the Hughes brothers. They were the filmmakers who did some early work with Tupac back in the day when
Oh,
he was.
wow.
So yeah, so
That's
there's a
neat.
connection between the filmmaker and the act and Tupac at the same time. So
Okay. I love like when I love the fact that they include, so much footage, like personal footage and stuff. That's really, really dope. Like being able to see him outside of, just the typical interviews that people usually play when they
mhm,
show Tupac and stuff is dope.
mhm. Yeah, definitely. They have some really good interviews of him on different talk shows or wherever like that, and you really just get to see him as him. But you know, even some of them even mentioned that they didn't feel like he had, a mental disorder when it comes to like multiple personalities or something like that. But he was the type of person at one point he could be talking to you and just talking about very progressive and proactive things to do for the community and all this stuff like that. And then the
Mhm.
next moment, like he may go to the restroom and come back and then just talking off the wall stuff. And it's like, bro, like get your head in the game, you know? So
You gotta get your head in the
yeah, I was
game.
wondering where you could catch that. But yeah, it's really good. His family's involved in it. He got a cousin that's involved. His aunt, his mom's sister is involved in it. And his dad is actually in it as well. So,
Oh
uh,
wow.
yeah, yeah. So it's a really good doc. I highly recommend that. And then last night, Audrey and I started Queen Charlotte. We watched we watched episode 1 and 2. And so, like Blaze said, we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. But I will say that I am all in for this. Um, I guess series. It's kind of hard to say because it's like within a series, but I'm all in for the Queen Charlotte talk, so to speak. So but yeah, but that's it for our watch list. On to the real take. We got a few points here that we want to just chime in a little bit on. One of the things that I saw is like according to Deadline, the Tony Awards will not be televised because of the current strike that's going on the behalf or on the act of WGA. And so, yes, we mentioned it not too long ago, like 1 or 2 episodes ago, that the strike is going on, the writer's strike for just a better way of being compensated for the work that they do, and not settling for the fact that a lot of big heads are transitioning into the streaming route, which eliminates the whole idea of syndication and everything like that. But they all know that revenue has been going up for these platforms. And if you think about it to a certain degree, there are ways outside looking in, I personally feel like that they're able to save more money on the content that they put out, which allows them, I feel like, to make more content, uh,
Hmm.
which in return also pulls in more of an audience and stuff. So, because I won't ever forget, one of my professors in college told me one time that one film that he knew of was going to take about $10 million just to put in majority or put in, I guess, like majority or at least in every single state that has a local movie theater. It was going to take $10 million just for distribution.
Hmm.
And so now you got platforms like Disney Plus, for instance, that's able to put, the recent Peter Pan straight to Disney Plus and all these other type of content, especially now since a lot of shows are even more popular now as far as keeping up with, and they're almost like a cinematic experience, but in episodic format. So yeah, so the strike goes on. I do hope that it doesn't go that long, just for the sake of those who are providing for their families or just themselves and stuff like
Hmm.
that, whatever.
But I
I'm
hope it doesn't stop just because, people are like, I got to provide for my family. I hope it stops because they get what they asked for.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I will say I was listening to Here's the Thing, Kev on Stage, and That's Your Angels podcast. Excuse me, and they she Angel has been in the business a little bit longer than Kev on the acting side, and basically they was talking about it, and the last writer strike lasted a very long time and did a lot of damage just within the
Hmm.
local city. So I feel like that they're going to be willing to, push until the wheels fall off, and the show, and it's one of those things. It's one thing when you're trying to stand up for yourself and you don't see the impact that it makes, like of just saying like, I'm not going to subscribe to this. Like, I have to put my foot down about it, and you don't see the repercussions of it, as in your worth. But the fact that I think the Actors Guild was interested in supporting them along.
Hmm.
Now you got the fact that they have power over just the Tony Awards not even being televised. Um,
Yeah.
that just shows that's that. And I feel like this is a very prominent time where a lot of content creation is going on. Um, there's always been, skepticism about, Hollywood as a whole, as far as like the organic makeup of how they do business, I guess, in a sense. And
Hmm.
so I feel like at this point, like, I feel like this is the perfect time to be very serious about what you want to stand up for, because there are a lot more ways to creatively invest in yourself and put yourself out there than just sticking to just the norm. So why not on a larger scale hear these people out and try to make it, as fair as possible, you know? So yeah, so we'll see. But that is my only news for the day. I ain't gonna do like last time, like this happened, that happened. But yeah, so Blaze, are you a Fast and the Furious fan?
I am a Fast and the Furious fan. I mean, we went 10 in. I gotta keep going. Gotta keep going.
Y'all are 10 in.
Oh,
Y'all.
now I will say I'm not so much of a fan where I'm like, as soon as that movie drop, I gotta go see it.
Mhm.
I ain't gonna see that movie. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I've seen the ninth one. Because I'm not going to the movie theaters to see it. I'm gonna wait until it comes out and see
Oh
it.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well,
All Fast and the Furious movies literally have the same plot. Like they drive fast, there's a bad guy, they beef, and then somehow everybody makes up. Like and Dom says, we family, and they have a family meal. Boom. That's every Fast and the Furious movie. Yeah,
well,
but I
yeah.
understand that it's about the journey, which is why I do still watch them. I'm just not going to the movie theater to watch it. I
Yeah.
enjoy it. I just don't know if I enjoy it enough to go to the movie theater.
Well, you're in luck because it seems like that they're talking about making the last of whatever is going on now a three-part series. I assume a movie for the movie franchise. So basically breaking it down in three parts, or whatever like that. I haven't watched it since maybe the fourth or fifth film. It was way after
Well,
it came out.
it's
So
it's gotten ridiculous.
I've
So it's
I've
so ridiculous.
I've heard they're like superheroes now. So yeah, I've heard, man. So, but hey, kudos to them. Get your money. I saw a video where Ludacris was saying one thing he's tired of people asking him about is why they keep on making movies. He said, "Man, think about it. If you invest $200 million to make a film and you come back around and you make over $1 billion off of that,
Mm-hmm.
that means that you made $800 million profit. Of course, you're gonna keep on making.
Yeah, that's not a good question. Like they're not gonna a movie like that is probably expensive, like you just said, to film. They're not gonna keep making those movies just for the fun of it. They making them because people are buying the product.
Yes, yes. And is this a Universal's property?
Yeah, it's Universal Pictures.
It is Universal, so you beat me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so with it being Universal, that's another thing too. Correct me if I'm wrong. Universal hasn't had like a huge hit in a while. Like they were big when I was growing up in the 90s and early 2000s,
They
I
were.
but I can't think of just like Universal's popping out like this thing. I think they have Transformers maybe. But even that again, that was early 2000s. So
They got Despicable Me.
yeah. But I mean, it's like for everybody, but not for everybody. I'm gonna be honest, no shade. I've never watched one.
They got Insidious.
That you know, that don't make no sense. I think I stopped after the second one.
I think I did too. They also just did the new Super Mario Brothers movie,
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it seems like they're kind of coming back, but it seems like what's been their bread and butter has been the Fast and the Furious franchise.
as
As
well as Jurassic World.
okay. Which, that's only three. And I feel like they did pretty good, but I don't know how well the third one had did as far as in the theaters, as far as gross.
No,
But
you're right though. Like looking at their list of highest grossing films, they
mhm,
got Fast Seven, they have Fast Six, and they have the Fate of the Furious all in the top 25.
yeah.
In the rest of the movies, I mean, some of them have come out since like 20 2010 to now. But I mean, some of these in the top 25 are like from E.T. 1982.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're right. That's their moneymaker. Why not make more?
We
That's
got
keeping
to.
the lights on.
We're family.
We family.
Shoot, man.
Y'all
Hey,
getting paid.
hey, man, y'all try to get in this wheelchair? Shoot, man. We got, but hey, man, I mean, I don't blame them, and then on top of that, like, I don't know what they would be associated with when it comes to actually putting their content on any streaming service as well. So, because I know Sony works closely with Netflix when it comes to some of their content,
Mhm.
and then Paramount, Paramount has has their whole empire that they got going on now, and then depending on and you know BT Plus is its own kind of entity, and once whoever is going to end up buying that, that's definitely going to be off on its own. So yeah, I mean, hey, I don't blame them. More power to them, and maybe one day I'll take out the time to try to watch them, or whatever. So, but yeah, so there's possibly going to be a three-part to the ending of Fast 10, and stuff. So, I forgot to send you the video, Blaze, and I don't remember us mentioning this in the past. I may be wrong, but have we talked about Haunted Mansion?
I don't think so.
I didn't think so. Did you see the first trailer they put out?
I remember seeing one trailer, but it was so long ago. I don't remember
That
it. I
thing was
do remember it being a lot different from the 2003 one.
that thing was
Like it
creepy
seems serious.
and creepy. That thing was creepy, but I'm loving the cast. I haven't seen the recent trailer. Um, but yeah, man, I'm like, how y'all gonna make something this scary?
I mean, it's called Honey Mansion. Like, step your game up. They
Like,
get
yeah,
hunted.
I'm like, bro, calm down. So but
But
I'm
it's
looking.
also supposed to be it's supposed to be a horror comedy. So even though it seems really scary, there's gonna be like funny parts and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it. I mean, I,
Like
I don't.
with the cast, they ain't got no other choice.
Yeah, it's like with the cast, and then on top of that, it's just like it is Disney at the end of the day. So I'm assuming there's gonna be probably like a maybe a scary movie two type of experience, because it's sometimes scary movie two. It wasn't necessarily like scary, but it's kind of like okay, I see where you're going with this. So
Now you know Scary Movie was not scary. Not you got scared. You can
see, I specifically said scary movie two.
Oh, so Scary Movie 2 scares you? Okay.
It is
Wait,
scary.
what happened in that one?
So this is when they go to the house and they stand in
Okay,
the house.
gotcha. I know. It's not scary, but I got you.
Listen. I didn't say it was scary. I said it just had themes in it that's like,
Seasons of scary.
okay,
All
but it
right.
was funny. Okay, Blaze. All right, you judging me? Let's moving on. Moving on. Um, Venom 3 is in the works. I didn't know they was gonna continue it. I still need to watch Venom 2. Uh,
Same.
but Venom 3 is in the works, and so I believe the correct way to say his name is Chiwetel or Chiwetel. He is the individual who played in the Doctor Strange series. I mean Doctor Strange series, but the first one, and he was the one. What is his name in this? Goodness gracious. He played Mordo. So he played Mordo. And so basically he's supposed to be in this in Venom 3.
Hmm.
And apparently they haven't even announced what he's actually going to be playing. So now I'm like, are we done with Doctor Strange? Because we got Mordo back for Doctor Strange 2, but he was not what I thought he was going to be
Hmm.
in the movie. And which I will honestly say, unfortunately, because I really thought when we got when we got Doctor Strange 2 or teasing into Doctor Strange 3 that we will finally see Mordo and Doctor Strange going at it because he was teased as a cameo at the end of the first Doctor Strange, is taking away the mystic powers from the individual that Doctor Strange heard about before going to get help with his hands. And so, but yeah, Venom 3 is in the works. He's supposed to be in it. He's a great actor. And so I'm interested to see they're going really hard with the villain aspect. I heard that Craven the Hunter is going to be rated R
Mm.
and stuff like that. And somebody said the little clips that they did see, they are not holding back in it at all. So um
But why couldn't he do both? Because Venom is produced by Sony. I mean, I know it's a Marvel, it's supposed to be in a Marvel universe, but they're the ones that are producing. Sony is the one that's producing Venom, so he technically could do both.
I can see them doing both if it's one of those things where they leading up to Secret Wars that it's another variant. They play it out as another variant. So because technically, they Venom was within the Marvel universe for just a little bit, so it is possible. Um, but we'll see. So, but I thought that was pretty interesting, and I'm interested to see where they're going to go with that, honestly. So, before we get into Queen Charlotte just a little bit, which we're not going to get real deep into it, but just kind of intro to leading up to our next week's episode, is the Color Purple trailer. Blaze, please tell me, what were your thoughts when you saw that trailer?
That cast is stacked. It's stacked. Really, like I was amazed by the people that they had. Actually, like really the first thought that I had was, I know that's right, Haley, you better get your bag.
Yeah.
Little Mermaid about to drop.
What you
That's gonna
talking?
drop on Christmas Day, and I swear she got a third movie that's dropping this year.
Mm,
Sus is in her bag,
big
and
time.
I'm happy for her.
Big time. I mean, you got Taraji, you got uh Coleman Domingo, you got uh Adjuanu, uh
Fantasia.
Taylor, Fantasia, Danielle Brooks, who was on Orange and the New Black and
And she was in
Peacemaker.
the musical.
Oh, I did hear about that. I did hear about that. You got
And what a lot of people may not realize is that this particular Color Purple movie is based on the musical. And they say that the musical is a closer adaptation to the actual book. And so if some people are like, why are they remaking it? It's not really a remake. It's more of a live action of the musical.
Angel mentioned that, and here's the thing. So I'm really glad that you mentioned that. So yeah, I did hear that apparently there was some pushback on how the movie actually came out that was adapted after the book. Um, but this one is supposed to be a little bit closer. So I definitely am interested in seeing it. But yeah, Stephen Hill, Dion Cole, Sierra, her,
Her.
her will be making their debut. John Baptiste, Batiste.
Gotcha.
It just goes on and on and on. Star-studded cast. I looked up the director. His name is Blitz, and he was actually the director of The Burial of Kojo on Netflix, and he was also the director on Black is King, which is the musical series on Disney Plus, which is about Beyonce's last album, I believe. Or was it this? It was the last album. Last album.
Mhm.
So I'm very interested to see the balancing of the burial of Kojo, his experience with that, and then also Black is King, that musical aspect, especially when you're working with Beyonce, how that's gonna deliver in this, which honestly that trailer is probably one of the best trailers. I haven't felt that way about a trailer, I think, ever since I've seen Black Panther 2 trailer.
Mhm.
yeah, like it was very, very dynamic. I see the screenplay is done by Marcus Gardley. And so he's seems like he's done a few things in the TV writing aspect. So that's going to be very interesting as well. And then it also says that credits wise, besides the screenplay, is going to be based on the novel and a musical who Marsha Norman has a credit of. So
Mhm.
so yeah, so it's I'm really looking forward to it. It's been a long time since I feel like I've been really excited about a musical. And at first, when they were saying they was coming out with, I was like, kind of like everybody else is just like, do you need a remake? I know you are doing like a another version of it because it's a musical, but is it necessary? So I don't know. Oh, also Fatima is actually going. From my understanding, she has some type of part in the production aspect, maybe with the choreography of the film.
Mm,
And
okay.
Fatima, she's worked with a lot of people like, from Aaliyah to doing the Super Bowl, to doing Remember the Time with Michael Jackson. And she's from Little Rock, Arkansas. So
Little Rock.
yeah, so it's I think it's gonna be a great time. I definitely plan on probably being in that thing, if not the day of, maybe the day before, the day after. So um
I mean,
so yeah,
that's my birthday, so I'm probably not gonna be in there the day of. I'm gonna be honest. No.
you can spend part of it in there, depending on what you got going on.
Now you know that movie about to be about 2.5 hours.
We gonna say, do they have a run time? I don't think they had a run time yet, do
It's a
they?
musical and it's color purple. It's gonna be 2.5 hours.
We gonna pray about it. It depends on how I feel about it. Then maybe I might not.
Maybe the day after Christmas,
Shoot, maybe the day it drops on Max instead of HBO
Uh,
Max.
right, Max, the place you go to watch HBO.
Right, but yeah, no, I think I'm gonna have to go to see that in theaters. I feel like that's gonna be too good
Oh
not to
yeah,
see.
that's a theater movie for sure.
Yeah, gotta watch that. So, but moving on to the last part that we want to jump into. Like I said, we're not gonna go too deep because Blaze has finished it. I've kind of only scratched. I feel like almost the middle how things are going. I wouldn't say fully the surface, but maybe I'm wrong. Because I'm really interested to see what other things can come about. So let's just jump into it. So, Queen Charlotte, if you haven't seen it at all, this is spoiler alert. You can just jump on off and
Spoiler
watch.
alert.
Yeah, you can jump off and watch one of them other episodes that you haven't listened to, and everything, and then jump on back to this. But we're gonna talk about just play around the realm of the first two episodes. So Blaze, one of the things that I will say I've truly enjoyed so far about this is the great dynamic of the young Charlotte and the
Hmm.
and the more mature and older Charlotte. Like it literally, I would literally feel like I'm watching the younger version or the other version of one another. Like, what was your take on that early on? Were you feeling the same, or like were you kind of getting into it?
It made me appreciate the older version more because I kind of really just didn't pay attention to her that much in Bridgerton, like she was just the side character to me. And so when I found out that they were even doing this series, I was like, I wasn't it wasn't that I wasn't excited. I just didn't think that much of it. But I mean I've watched the whole thing and I would say it's probably better than Bridgerton, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
really, really good.
I was telling Audra, I said, how it's going. I feel like I almost am gonna probably enjoy this more than the others because I feel like the stories of the other two have been so grand, except for it's so grand and not as character driven. Like the characters, you follow the stories, but it's so many characters that you have to keep up with at times,
Hmm.
especially the second season, to where it's like you have to take everything in as is instead of being able to really follow and connect with the characters as much to a certain degree. The first,
And also, it's a little formulaic because The season starts.
Hmm.
Everybody goes to the first ball. Who's going to be the diamond of the ball? You follow this couple. Then you also have these little subplots with Queen Charlotte. We really didn't know what we were going to get. We knew
True.
it was going to be about her when she was younger, but that was it. And
Hmm.
so I feel like the journey of the freshness of this is probably what's making it so good.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that, and I remember a while back we talked about Bridgerton briefly, and we talked about how we wish that they would be like, where is the colorism or where is the
Hmm.
racism? What like just the acknowledgement of the difference, where is that at in this? Yeah, we understand that we playing modern music in Victorian age or whatever like that and stuff or whatever, so
Yeah.
we understand that this is a fictional story, but let's be realistic about it, in a sense. And uh these folks are a little racist, Blaze, from what I'm seeing
Oh,
so far.
definitely. But it was about time that they acknowledged it. Like, come on,
Yeah,
they're not just accepting this black girl. No, no. My favorite part, or the part that I thought that was really funny, was when the princess, when she said, let's expand the wedding, let's invite her people. My first thought was like, how you gonna invite Germans to a wedding that's happening in 6 hours? They won't make it. And
that's
then
what
the
they said.
next scene was them going to every black person. I was like, now this is racist. This is racism. Like, wait a minute. She don't know these people and they don't know her. Those are not her people.
Oh man, and then when she's like, she examining her, the most cringiest thing, man. I'm like, oh, and like the whole thing of like, well, brown, but not brown, brown. We didn't realize
Mm-hmm.
brown. I'm like, wow. So, of course, for us, it's kind of like a stinger, but at the same time, I do appreciate them finally being realistic, because even the last season, like she was, I think she was considered a diamond. Like she was brown herself in a sense. So, but of course for, some, ideal reasons, we know why that probably wasn't brought up. But I really do appreciate them finally being realistic about this. And I'm looking forward to seeing um how this plays out, this whole thing about the experiment and keeping the secrets or whatever. That's pretty much where we left off at. But basically the king basically standing up and just letting his frustration out um to his mother about how he feels about this whole setup and what's going on, which we still, well, me, myself, and Audrey, we don't know fully about, but I have my guesses of what's going on to a certain degree. I just don't know the why of what's going on and stuff like that. So um but yeah, and I'm really another younger version that I've really been enjoying. Also is I think it's Madam, what is her name?
Lady Dandridge.
Lady Danbury.
Mm-hmm. I think that's
Yes.
her last name.
Okay. And thank you, Ivan. And so
Yeah. Mhm.
and Blaze. And
Yeah, I enjoyed her character in Bridgerton, and so I was really excited to meet her younger self and see what her path was like to get to where she is.
and because it was funny, like we kind of course it's been a little while, so we wasn't familiar with the names at times, and I ain't gonna lie, I can be horrible with names sometimes when it's too many characters.
Hmm.
And I'll be like the person that did this, the person that did that. I
Hmm.
do remember mannerisms, the impact, all the stuff like that. And
The one with the cane.
yes, and that's why I just said, like, I was, because we were both like, oh, it's like, and I was like, I think this song, so like the one with the cane. I said, yeah, I think so. And then there was one moment where she had on gloves, and I was like, you know what? I think I do remember at parts they were very intentional where she wore a lot of gloves sometimes. I may be wrong, but I think she used to wear a lot of gloves.
Mhm.
And so yeah, seeing that dynamic, her and her husband.
Her husband. When I saw every time I saw those scenes with her and her husband, I couldn't help but think about House of Dragon with Viserys and Alicent.
Oh yeah,
Like, oh,
it's
oh.
tough. It is very tough. But it's a very unique thing that I'm waiting to see more of, but I feel like it was kind of given away when they was in the present and it was Queen Charlotte um and what was the first Diamond's mother's name? Because they came.
Violet.
Okay, yeah. So like when all the three of them was there and they was like basically like how do you get your kids to, want to be married and have kids and stuff like that and both of them, Queen Charlotte and her bestie were kind of like, it's just a part of a duty, that's what you do or
Mm-hmm.
whatever like that. But she was talking about love and then Queen Charlotte like love. And I'm like, dude, are you telling me like this doesn't get any better? Like, because like I think the thing that's kind of I keep in mind is like the moment that we finally saw the king and realized that he had Alzheimer's. But there was a sense of like patience of from Queen Charlotte to him as if there was love there,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of whatever. So to see that and then the fact that he didn't even want to be around her the first night, to like they finally make it official. And then, we end with the fact of like, where I'm at now in the season, episode 2, where he gets mad at the mom. Um, Very interesting, but I really love the tidbits in there, like how she always keeps Pomeranians now. And then her right hand person, what is his name? Do you remember?
Bemsley, I think.
Yeah, I'm loving that growth and that dynamic. I've been loving to see that together. So I think that's been one of the main relationships I've been seeing to where I respect it. I love like good friendships that's kind of awkward at first and they just kind of grow with one another and it's just like that support because it's one of those things how she looking like behind her all the time and being bothered
Mm-hmm.
to where and how she was want him not to leave like to leave her alone and not come in the room to he's right there with her when they do that. So it's really dope. I'm really enjoying it so far. What was your take on? I guess if anything, the king and the queen, like their dynamic early on. Like, how were you feeling about that?
I think their chemistry is amazing. Like they did a really good job casting wise, making sure that these two individuals had some real life chemistry. Like if somebody told me they was dating outside of the show, I would believe them because
Yeah,
like that's how much chemistry that they have.
yeah, yeah. I definitely would agree with that. I definitely would, man. I'm looking forward to it. We might jump on tonight unless Audrey want to keep on going blood and water because I know once you get into that, it's kind of
You
hard to
kind of want
stop.
to finish it, yeah.
Because she's at the part where Lang was in the office and she was trying to get fixed birth certificate
Mm-hmm.
and Wade's just walked in on her. So
Mm-hmm.
oh man, well, cool beans. Well, thank y'all again for joining in for another episode. The next one it'll be full out Queen Charlotte. We're gonna get into the good deeds with it and everything like that. So Blaze won't have to hold back too much of what she knows about it, and we're gonna have a good time. But as always, we really do appreciate y'all supporting us and everything. We're getting ready to start venturing into TikTok now and going into that. So you should be able to find us Ambitious Views Podcast on TikTok now that it seems like they're not gonna get rid of anytime soon, hopefully. So
And
but
we
we're gonna
also may be entering those Twitter streets. So
oh yeah,
look
yeah,
out for that, you know.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. So again, appreciate y'all for tuning in and y'all have a good rest of the morning, day, and night. Other than that, peace.
Peace.